Testing.
A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man,
Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 742nd edition of TSR Live, the number one relationship podcast in the world. Again, taking a page out of the Fresh and Fit playbook. It is Friday, June 25th of 2021. It is good to have you guys in this afternoon. We are streaming, as always, live to Facebook, ngtow.tv, Twitch, YouTube, and, of course, in crystal clear, high-resolution 4K to Sharpe Stream. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. You can download the Sharpe Stream mobile app. Just go to sharpestream.com. That is SHARPE stream.com. Doesn't matter if you have an Android or an iOS phone, iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. The Sharpe Stream app is available for both versions. Just go to sharpestream.com, download the app, and you can watch absolutely free. As it is Friday night, I'll give you guys my Friday advice, as I always do. Number one, call an Uber. Number two, use a condom. Number three, send that morning after text. Three things, guys, that can turn a man's life upside down in a hurry is a DUI, an unwanted pregnancy, and a false EPAR spelled backwards accusation. You guys know what they say, an ounce of prevention, right? That's all it takes, guys. Listen, don't drive drunk, send that morning after text, and wrap your junk. It'll save you time, money, and ultimately your sanity and freedom. Today is the last day. Today is the last day to get your hands on my free ebook, The 49 Laws of Sharpe. This is the perfect guide for anyone who is new to this men's-centric community. It answers a lot of questions that men initially have when finding men-centric content like this, which will set you on the right path and sets the tone. A lot of you guys have a lot of questions when they first discover men-centric content like this, and what ends up happening a lot is confusion. Well, this book, or this guide rather, will clear up just about all of the confusion that any man has when they first discover men-centric content. So go to donovansharpe.com/newsletter to get your free copy today, because at midnight Eastern, it will no longer be free. So join the other 13,000 plus men who've taken advantage of this guide by going to donovansharpe.com/newsletter. Let me shout my Sharpe stream guys. Shout out to Dre, Raven, Hellfong, and Scotty, all in the Sharpe stream chat. Shout out to you guys as well on the YouTube side, my YouTube members, Ice Dragon Kid, New York's Ninth Wonder, good to see you in here, Technomage B5, good to go. Excellent, very good. We're going to have a full house this evening. Later on in the show, in just over an hour from now at 5 Eastern, 4 Pacific, I will be joined by Coach E.O. That's right, I will be joined by Coach Everett Overton, and the two of us, we're going to discuss a little bit of this video, and then we are going to be taking your live phone calls on the air. Any questions you have about dating, relationships, manhood, etc., etc., myself and Coach Everett Overton will be taking those questions as well as answering those questions. So I'm very much looking forward to that. After that, another season of Temptation Island Breakdown is going to occur. We finished up season 1 yesterday, the day before yesterday. We're going to start season 2 of the reboot this afternoon, or after this show. So definitely stay tuned for that. We'll give you guys updates in terms of what have happened with the contestants on season 1. Okay, let's go ahead and get right to today's topic. Anyone who has followed me for a while knows that Kevin Samuels is one of my best friends. We've known each other for years. We have watched each other grow from nothing to what we have today. Now, obviously, he's grown a lot more than I have as of late. But believe it or not, there was actually a time where I had more subscribers than he did. All jokes aside, and this is normally right around the time he calls, so be ready. You guys also know that Kevin loves to call me when I'm on the air. Through no fault of his own, he has very good and bad timing in that regard. But I consider it an honor and a privilege to call Kevin a friend of mine. And one of the coolest things that's really sort of come of all of his success is realizing that Kevin really is who he is. He's the same on camera as he is off camera. The first time I had him on my channel was almost 4 years ago, and he is literally the same now as he was back then. Even though he has blown up and he's gone viral and, he is a bona fide celebrity, we still talk every day. Monday through Sunday, at least twice a day, he'll call me or I'll call him or both. And I've always maintained that Kevin has never, ever steered me in the wrong direction, ever. Everything that man has told me or taught me has always greatly benefited my brand. Kevin mentors me in a lot of different ways, not the least of which is mindset as well as emotional mastery and discipline. Kevin does understand that I am a hot-blooded individual, but one thing that's really, really cool about him is that he never tells me that I need to calm down. He doesn't say, Donovan, you need to calm down. No, he simply instructs me on how to proceed with situations that I happen to seek his counsel on. And to see him finally getting the success that he deserves, guys, that is extremely gratifying, man. It is really, really cool to see guys that you have worked with for years and years and years. You see all the sweat equity they put in behind the scenes. It really is cool to see him finally getting the success and the recognition that he deserves. Same with Myron Gaines, man. I mean, watching Myron go from a regular caller on my show to where he is now, it's incredible. It really, really is. At any rate, the reason I have stayed largely silent on the life and times of one Kevin Samuels is because I've been extremely busy. The CME, as we all know, was a huge success, but it took a lot of hard work for a long time to make that happen. But now that the CME is in the rearview mirror, I can now throw my hat into the ring and start giving my opinions of those who are critical of him. Now, the first and obvious person would be DJ Envy. I'll probably be doing it. Listen, I know I'm late to the party on that, but I will definitely be breaking down DJ Envy's comments. I don't know, maybe too little, too late, but I think people need to know. I think people would really like to know what I think about that situation. But today I'm going to discuss a video from a content creator by the name of Brini Lee. Now, episode 521, and I need to, hang on a second, I need to turn down my AC because, it is getting hot in here. Hang on, guys. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Excellent. All right, anyway, I've done a video on Brini Lee before. I'm not going to link her. I mean, I don't know, I might link it in the chat. But this is all the way back in episode 521. So if you'd like to go back and watch that, you can either become a member of my channel, become a patron, or sign up for Sharpe Stream. Anyway, the video I am going to discuss, or at least a small part of the video, is entitled, "Is Kevin Samuels Toxic?" Now, before I start the video, let me quickly fill you guys in on who she is, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with her. Brini Lee is basically another level up advocate. There's nothing otherwise impressive about her. Yes, her face is pretty, but it is clear that the older she gets, the more weight she gains. She does a very good job of hiding it on camera and in pictures, what with Photoshop and whatnot, which is no different from any other female influencer. But yeah, that's really who she is. That's really the long and the short of who she is. So without further ado, let us get to, and I'm going to break down about a 6-minute segment. It was an hour video. I took out a 6-minute segment, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second. Why isn't this working? Hold on, guys. Hang on a second. Oh, I'm an idiot.
Speak for all.
Woo, boy, that was... All right, so that was really loud. Okay, so without further ado, take 2. Here we go.
And so the first thing I disagree with is that he does not speak for all.
Hang on.
And so the first thing I disagree with is that he does not speak for all high value men. All high value men do not want the same thing when it comes to a woman. Granted, every man wants a beautiful woman, but beauty is truly in the eyes of the beholder.
Here we go.
I may think someone's beautiful and my friend may think they're ugly. That's just life. But what dress size Kevin prefers should only be his preference.
And here we go already with the body positivity and the beauty at any size nonsense. Now, this isn't a surprise to me, as it's clear that Brini Lee is not a small woman. Listen, let's keep it a stack. Brini Lee has the body type of Rosie O'Donnell. And no, I'm not going to say the O word. I'm not going to use the fat word. I'm not going to use the F word. Okay? Women like Lizzo and Lonnie Love, women like them, they predictably push this beauty at any size nonsense down our throats, as they are both clearly not as small as they should be. So when she says Kevin doesn't speak for all high-value men in terms of dress size preference, she is speaking from a subjective standpoint. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That is a phrase used almost exclusively by women who look like Amy Schumer. I have never, and I mean never, heard this proverb come out of the mouth of a female who is in great shape. I've never heard this proverb come out of the mouth of a woman who is extremely attractive. Now, this doesn't mean attractive women don't say this, but if they have, I haven't heard it or seen it. And the reason why... Boy, Philip and Clyde are making some noise. The reason why is because extremely attractive women know damn well that beauty is... They know damn well that beauty is in the eye of the men they are trying to attract. And let me quickly make a distinction between beautiful versus attractive women. Beautiful women are females who have hit the genetic lottery. Girls who were born pretty but didn't blow their lottery winnings on alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, and junk food, right? These are the females who clearly understand that they were blessed to be born pretty and do not take it for granted. They are keenly aware that they have an advantage that most women are not born with, and they do what's necessary to maintain that advantage for as long as they can. Beautiful women continuously supplement their aesthetic advantage by watching what they eat, exercising, training regularly, and so forth. Now keep in mind that genetically gifted females who keep themselves in great shape use their advantage in many ways. Obviously, a good number of them are Instagram models and make a very good living, right? Then you have content creators who trade on their beauty in order to gain a sizable following. And listen, I never begrudge a woman for using her beauty to open doors that would normally be closed to less attractive women. Not mad at them, right? Shake what your mama gave you. Use the advantages that you have. However, beautiful women also sometimes work in the sex trade. Exotic dancers, adult film actresses, like, for example, Kendra Lust, Brandy Love. Those two are great examples of genetically gifted women who achieved a phenomenal physique and decided to go the route they did. Now, I'm fairly certain that both of them are probably out of the business now because, I don't know, like 7 or 8 years ago, they were both put into the MILF category on adult sites. But again, beautiful women are females who were born pretty and kept themselves into the kind of shape that puts them into the top 5% in terms of overall beauty. Now, attractive women or attractive females, those are women who weren't born so lucky, right? These are the girls with average to below average and even not so attractive faces. But instead of feeling sorry for themselves and being envious of the women who were born pretty, they trained their asses off. They trained their asses off and achieved a physique that increases their sexual market value by anywhere between 2 and 3 points. Take a female with an average looking face, right? If she maintains the status quo in terms of her physique, in other words, she doesn't look like Tess Holliday, but she isn't skin and bones either, she's rated a 5, average. But if that same female hits the gym and she eats properly, she could easily make herself into a 7, maybe even an adjustable 7.5, depending upon her makeup skills. Now, some women are born with great physical genetics whose faces are not as easy on the eyes as naturally pretty girl. Listen, my girlfriend Devin is a great example of this. She has an average to below average looking face, but she was blessed with superior physical genetics. She has the traditional hourglass figure. Her legs are very shapely. She has a great ass and nice big perky boobs. Devin is the traditional definition of curvy. If you don't believe me, go to my Instagram. You'll see all the curves you want. Now, of course, we all know that women whose faces are not so easy on the eyes, but are in fantastic shape, we call them butterface, right? Everything on her looks good but her face. But I think I speak for most men when I say I'd rather be with a butterface than a pretty female who weighs over 200 pounds, which brings me full circle to Miss Lee's statement that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Let's take a look at that definition, okay? The definition of beauty is in the eye of the beholder says that beauty cannot be judged objectively, for what one person finds beautiful or admirable may not appeal to another. You guys are just going to take my word for it. I forgot to get the graphic. Now, to some degree, this definition is partially true. Some men may prefer blondes. Some men may prefer women with large breasts. Some men may prefer women with small breasts. Some men have a thing for brunettes. The list goes on and on. And those things are what the definition is really talking about. The ancillary or the seemingly inconsequential physical traits that any given man prefers on any given woman. Now, keep in mind, just because a man has a thing for blondes doesn't mean he doesn't find redheads or brunettes attractive or unattractive, right? Just because a man likes large breasts doesn't mean he wouldn't smash a girl who was an A cup. But where this eye of the beholder proverb is misused is by women who look like Lonnie Love. Yes, gentlemen, beauty is subjective on a very small level. As I just explained, hair color, cup size, body type preference, they all vary from man to man. But men with options, high value men, never prefer women who look like Monique. Okay? I have never ever seen a millionaire, a billionaire, a professional athlete, actor, recording artist, or any high value male with a significant other who looks like Raven-Symoné. And even if I did, one could safely assume that he has more than a few side pieces who meet or exceed his physical preferences in terms of female companions. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder isn't talking about chicks that look like Lizzo. Okay? It's not talking about women who look like Lonnie Love. No. It talks about the difference between a young Megan Good and a young Stacey Dash, right? A younger Scarlett Johansson and Amber Heard. It's not talking about the subjective difference between Megan Fox and Rebel Wilson, okay? It's not talking about the subjective difference between chubby Khloe Kardashian and hot Khloe Kardashian. So yes, Ms. Lee, Kevin Samuels does speak for all high-value men in terms of their preference in a woman's aesthetic beauty and figure. Men with options simply do not want females who look like Chrissy Metz, and that's all there is to it. The only subjective beauty that women like Breenie Lee here discuss is the difference between a woman who looks like Kelly Clarkson and a woman who does not. I'm going to be dropping these all day, guys. And honestly, miss me with the guys who say they prefer plus-size women. Miss me with that. There's no such thing as a high-value chubby chaser, okay? There's no such thing as a man with options who chooses to be with women who look like Melissa McCarthy, okay? And you guys can also miss me with this plus-sized, spicy movie stars. That's a gimmick, nothing more. Nobody fires up the laptop to watch women who look like Precious getting it on in the bedroom unless they're either playing a trick on someone or showing their friends that this kind of nonsense actually exists on the internet. What Breenie Lee and other women who look like Kirstie Alley need to get through their thick skulls is that beauty is not subjective, at least in terms of any given female's body type. As men, we have accepted that you cannot negotiate attraction like Rolla Tomasi says. We've accepted that as much as women would like to think they do, it is impossible for women to love unconditionally outside of their pets and children. Yes, there are small factions of men who do bitch and moan about the fact that most women aren't attracted to responsible, respectable men who make $60,000 a year, has good credit, is a homeowner, drives a Toyota Corolla. But the guys in this men-centric community very clearly understand that most average women are not attracted to most average men. We understand that most women wouldn't date or sleep with most men. It doesn't matter whether or not we think it's fair or not. Doesn't matter if we think it's right or not. We accept this hard and fast truth, and we make the necessary adjustments as we see fit, depending upon our goals. But modern women seem intent on calling women who look like Adele from 5 years ago attractive, rather than watching what she eats and hitting the gym. They'd rather try to convince us that women who look like Ashley Graham are every bit as attractive as women who look like Natalie Emmanuel. So for Breenie Lee to say Kevin Samuels doesn't speak for all high-value men in terms of their aesthetic preferences in women, that's typical. Let's continue.
By your own estimation, you say you put yourself in the 8 category. That's pretty. That's right up there with Beyonce, Pam Grier. The difference is,
did he just drop Pam Grier? Pam Grier was hot back in the day.
I can look at Pam Grier in her natural state in the 70s, no makeup, and she was pretty. I'm still having to look between the lashes, the extensions, and everything else that exists. And then even those two women, neither one of those women are in your body type range.
It shouldn't be a standard. Of course, women who may be overweight may not be as attractive.
That's just it. See, she's trying to gloss over the fact that women who are the O word are not as attractive as women who are not the O word.
But to say a specific dress size or how much a woman should weigh You can't paint everybody with the same brush.
Sure we can. Of course we can. Ms. Lee, we are the market. We are the people you are trying to entice. You see, modern women never really seem to understand that the product doesn't decide what the market wants. The market does, okay? The market decided about, a decade and a half ago that minivans were no longer desirable. And so now we see manufacturers moving away from minivans and skewing more towards the traditional SUV. The market for women is men, high-value men. Women say all the time, I'm not doing this for a man, blah, 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 blah. Listen, man, Mike Rashid, for all of his blue pill flaws, guess what? He kept it real. He said, listen, man, we as guys, when we go to the gym, when we work out and we go buy a suit, we're not really doing that for us. We're doing this so that we can become or stay attractive to women that we're attracted to. Nothing wrong with that. No, women seem to have a problem with admitting the fact that everything they do is for male attention and male eyeballs. To what end? That remains to be seen, but attention, that is the commodity of today's modern women. But the market for all women are men with options. As such, these men decide what they will or will not buy. Actually, I take that back. I take that back. We don't decide. Our biology decides. Modern women completely feign ignorance about our biological desires and preferences while consistently pointing out what they want according to their biology, right? Just because you don't accept what the market is telling you doesn't mean the market's going to change. Men always prefer women who look more like Jessica Alba than women who look like Lizzo, and there's nothing they can do about it. That's all there is to it.
Some people carry their weight differently.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I'm 5'3".
Jessica.
I'm like a 4.
Like a 4?
A 4, 4, 5.
Oh, I gotta rewind that. This is funny as hell. Watch, Kevin, watch.
I'm like a 4.
Kevin, wait, hold up. He's like, wait, you said what? You said a 14?
A 4, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
You mind backing the camera up?
Uh-oh.
My face looks a lot heavier.
Oh, he
I hold
pulled a
lot of weight
card.
in my face.
Uh-oh.
I'm petite.
Oh, petite. Let's see.
Do that so we can see up and down. 'Cause I don't really...
See, Kevin's not buying it. And Kevin's straight to, look.
Well, I don't really have like real clothes on right now. I kind
Oh, man, I didn't catch it. Hold up.
of hold a lot of weight in my face, but I'm petite.
Do that so we can see up and down. 'Cause I don't really...
Well, I don't really have like real clothes on right now.
And there you have it. Was this girl serious? Did she really believe that we would believe that she was a size 4? You guys see how women just flat out lie? It was obvious this chick was a size 14. Yes, women do carry their weight a little bit differently from other women. But there are telltale signs of a woman who looks like Gabourey Sidibe, right? Triangular fingers, number 1. Number 2, an invisible collarbone, which we can't see here. And number 3, a chubby face. Those come to mind immediately. This girl knew what was up, which is exactly why she declined. This is exactly why she decided to more or less eat the camera, do the up-close stuff, but then didn't want to pan out when Kevin asked her to. Yeah, Jerry Alford in the chat says, yeah, busted Pillsbury biscuit can. Yeah.
I kind of have. I
Look at that.
recently had surgery, so I have like a.
So I feel like Kevin preaches his preference as a standard. So until I hear with care the way he
Crap. I'm sorry about that, guys. I went way ahead.
To look between the lashes, the
overweight.
Sorry about that.
everybody with the
Like a 4. My face looks a lot heavier. I
right.
hold a lot of weight in my face, but I'm petite.
Mm-hmm.
do that so we can see up and down. 'Cause I don't really...
Well, I don't really have like real clothes on right now.
Oh, yeah, right.
Kinda have-
All the excuses.
I recently had surgery, so I have like
Blah,
a,
blah,
So
blah.
I feel like Kevin preaches his preference as a standard. So until I hear from the high value men that he professes to have around him, I will take his preference, his rating system with a pinch of salt.
Okay, so she says, until I hear from the high-value men that Kevin supposedly surrounds himself with, I'm just not going to believe what his preferences are. So now she is saying that she simply does not believe that Kevin's preferences are in line with high-value men. She wants us to believe that she believes that Kevin's aesthetic predilections are not in line with who she believes are high-value men. Listen, man, this is disingenuous on a couple of fronts. Number one, at the beginning of this video, which I didn't play, she actually called Kevin good-looking and well-dressed, both of which are true. Add that to the fact that Kevin stands at 6'4", and that he has catapulted himself into the top 1% in terms of income as a result of his success, and you have yourself wait for it, a high-value man. One of the biggest reasons Kevin's brand has taken off is because he's the avatar, okay? Kevin Samuels is the avatar of the high-value man. He's tall, he's good-looking, he's well-spoken, very well-dressed, financially secure. There has never been a man who has all of these characteristics who consistently points out hard and fast truths about sexual relations between men and women. This is why he catches so much heat. He is the guy that modern women want, yet he has no problem pointing out and speaking on unflattering truths about modern women. There has never been a man in the history of social media who has all of the traits Kevin has, who has consistently discussed the real problems dealing with modern women. So Brittany Lee here says, well, until I hear from other high-value men, Miss Lee, you have. If you haven't just heard it from Kevin, you've seen high-value men telling the world what their aesthetic preferences are in terms of the women they pursue and who they're with. High-value men don't have to say, well, I prefer fit women in my life. For women to know that that's what they prefer. And for her to essentially disqualify Kevin's preferences simply because she isn't within the scope of his preferences, that speaks to the obvious solipsism and willful delusion of modern women. Go freaking figure.
The second thing that I disagree with or I don't like about Kevin Samuels is that, and I didn't actually think about this until I watched my girl Adela's video on this Kevin Samuels situation. You can definitely check it out in the description box below. Hey girl, one thing I did not realize or I couldn't pinpoint was I don't think he always speaks from a place of love.
Translation. Kevin's not afraid to hurt a bitch's feelings. Brittany Lee quite simply disagrees with Kevin's candor. She disagrees with his frankness, okay? Women like her always like to say, well, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And while that is true to a very small degree, modern women have shown us in the last 6+ decades that sugarcoating hard facts is ineffective. For years, decades, men have beat around the bush about what they like. Very rarely have men ever just been straight up about what they want from a woman, okay? This is actually one of the things that my girlfriend says that she appreciates about me, right? Like, Devin loves the fact that I'm direct about what I want. She likes that I'm not nebulous. She likes that I'm not suggestive. She likes that I don't hint at what I want. I straight up tell her, hey, I want X, Y, and Z from you. Well, this is exactly what Kevin is doing now. He's not sugarcoating anything. When he told Jessica that she was average at best, the world lost its collective mind. How dare he tell her the unfiltered truth? Saying that Kevin doesn't speak from a place of love is along the same exact lines of a woman's definition of an asshole, which is a man who doesn't make an effort to worship women and isn't afraid to hurt her feelings. No, it doesn't matter how Kevin says what he does, it's that he says it. Let's just say for instance, let's just say, just for the sake of argument, that he said to Jessica, sweetheart, you're average at best, and I mean that in the most loving and respectful way. Women would have still gone absolutely mental. Whether or not Breenie Lee believes Kevin is speaking from a place of love, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. He is putting out a message that needs to be put out there. And unfortunately, women have showed us that they do not respond to anyone who comes from a place of love. They have shown us time and again that they will only respond to men who speak as plainly and as forthcoming as Kevin Samuels. They have only themselves to blame for this.
Okay, and
It's almost like a kid. It's like a kid. It's like a kid who gets yelled at by his parents, right? Now, don't get me wrong. There are some parents who scream at their kids all the time. But there are some kids, and I'll never forget this. I was real good friends with this lady in Reno. I'm still good friends with her, right? And she yells at her kids all the time. And I used to think, man, why is she always yelling at her kids? Well, when she just tells them, hey, Michael, I want you to do X, Y, and Z. Michael just sits there. Michael, I need you to stop playing video games and do X, Y, Z. Still nothing. Michael, get your ass off the Xbox and do X, Y, and Z. When her sons show her that the only way they understand communication is being yelled at, this is where women are. This is where women are right now. This is why men have to speak with such frankness, because they have shown that they do not respond to sugarcoating.
I get it. Tough love. I get it. I understand. Men don't speak like women. Women don't speak like men. Fine, right? But I've heard men speak to women and about women with respect.
As have I, Ms. Lee. But there are two major problems with this. The first problem is that men who speak to women with respect and dignity are not spoken to with respect and dignity. It is rarely reciprocated, if ever. Any man here in 2021 who shows respect and dignity to a woman, any man, as I'm looking at my clock to see when Coach EO is going to get here, but he's not due for another half an hour. Any man who shows respect and dignity to a woman who has not earned it, and I'll talk about this shortly, is spoken to with disrespect and contempt. Again, this is another problem with modern women. They rarely reciprocate respect that comes from respectful men. They treat the men who treat them the best get treated the worst, and the men who treat them the worst get treated the best. The second problem with this particular mindset is that women want respect and dignity for no other reason but that they exist. Modern women want to be able to act however they want, but they still want to be given respect because they have two X chromosomes. When it comes to high-value men, it don't work that way. I said this before. Women only value what they are required to work for, and this includes respect and dignity. If a man gives a female respect that she has not earned, then it should come as no surprise that she doesn't value this undeserved respect. Modern women want ladylike treatment without having to act like a lady. But what they don't realize is that because they're not required to work for it, they won't value it when they get it. Take, for example, women we refer to as 304s, right? Women who sleep around, women who get passed around, right? When such a woman meets a man who showers her with respect and dignity, takes her out on expensive dinner dates, buys her gifts, and regales her with tales of his desire to be her man, when she's done nothing but, exist, her nether regions dry up like my kidneys did on the Arizona Canal Trail 2 months ago. And what ends up happening is that she uses this guy for all of his non-sexual attention while giving her sexual attention to the guy who made her work for his attention. You see, gentlemen, women inherently know and understand that if a man so freely and easily gives away his time and attention, then he must not value his own time. And if he doesn't value his time, then why should she? Right? 304s also know and understand that they are not worthy of ladylike treatment. They talk about it, right? They post memes on social media talking about it, talking about how much they deserve and what they will and will not settle for and all the rest of that. But in the deepest recesses of their minds, they know they aren't worth much outside of the temporary pleasure their 3 holes provide any given man. With this in mind, women like this punish the men who do not see her for who and what she really is. In her mind, subconsciously, she's not thinking about this consciously. In her mind, she says to herself, okay, this guy is calling and texting me constantly. He's taking me out to these expensive restaurants. He calls me wife material, and I haven't even kissed him yet. Gentlemen, understand what I'm about to tell you. Okay, if you haven't heard anything heard anything I've said until now, you need to listen right now. Women like this positively despise. They positively despise the men who lack the requisite experience to treat them the way they know they deserve to be treated. So when a man exhibits that level of ineptitude, she punishes him with the fury of 1,000 suns. She hates him for not seeing her for who and what she really is. She loathes him for not recognizing that her neck tattoo automatically disqualifies her for any relationship with any man worth a damn. She detests him for ignoring the fact that she has 3 children by 3 different men, but still insists that she would make a great mother. Women like this are positively disgusted that men don't recognize that she's really just using him for a free meal that she would later share with the guy smashing her later that night when she suggested they meet up at 5 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock. So Ms. Lee can squawk on and on about how men of value don't speak to or about women with respect or dignity, because women have only themselves to blame for this. They have showed us time and time again what happens when a man unwittingly gives her something she did not earn. Respect and dignity are earned, Miss Lee. They are never given. And the men who just freely give these things to you are not the men you want. And this is exactly why you have a problem with the way Kevin speaks. If modern women want men to treat them with dignity and respect, they need to become a woman worthy of such treatment. Men with options don't give this away for free. They don't give this away for free any longer, and for good reason.
And dignity, right? You can correct a woman without the harsh hatred. And I remember watching Rebecca
So, honesty is hatred now, is it?
Lynn Pope's reaction video of the "You're average at best," and she legit broke down crying because she's an empath and she feels pain and her heart is genuinely for women.
No, Rebecca Lynn Pope broke down crying because she was putting on a show.
So degrading. That if this was my daughter, if this was my child.
All right, I'm going to lower this and read the super chats because Rebecca Lynn Pope is just on some BS. And that's what I do. Sean with the $5 super chat says, when have you ever seen a plus-size woman hop out of a high-value men's Lamborghini or other type of fancy car? Yeah, the answer is absolutely never. Let's continue.
Hated how Kevin Samuels spoke to that woman, and maybe it's a female thing and maybe men won't be able to ever understand, but women need to be spoken to with care. The way he spoke.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second.
To that woman, and I understand she called into the show on a day that wasn't talking about a topic.
Family.
Okay, so what's your disagreement?
Honestly, I don't have a disagreement. I just came here because I honestly want some advice from you.
You see, Kevin's already irritated because he says, listen, man, I only want disagreements, what we're talking about. No, this woman bulldozed through. She bulldozed through and said, well, I just want some advice.
It says disagreement day.
See?
Oh, I know, but this is my first time catching it on live. Normally I'm asleep.
She insisted that he talked about the things that she wanted him to talk about. He told her, don't make me go there. And she was like, okay, go there. I don't think she was expecting what he gave her.
I don't think anybody did.
And I also feel like Kevin was in a bad mood that day because I have watched other videos where he's a lot more patient. However, he spoke to that specific woman like she was the dirt on the bottom of his shoe.
So let me get this straight. So Kevin makes it clear that he is only taking calls from women who disagree with whatever it was he was talking about. Jessica ignores this and says that she needs his advice. Free consultation, by the way. Like Kevin's consultations and advice, it's not free. This is why, dude, he'll spend an hour with me on the phone. And sometimes I feel indebted to him because I know that's an hour he probably could have made into the 5 figures. Anyway, Jessica ignores this, says she needs his advice, which is selfish on her part. I don't care what the show topic is. I don't care what the instructions are. I want you to give me some free advice. She ignores all of this and completely derails the show. But Brini Lee is surprised that Kevin was a little surly? Kevin's supposed to show patience to a woman who clearly ignored instructions and continued to bulldoze her way onto the show for what she wanted? Guys, this is another problem with modern women. Dutch says Kevin has points, but he doesn't speak for me. Well, then fuck out of here. What are you doing in here, man? What are you doing in here? Dutch says Kevin has valid points, but he doesn't speak for me. No, translation, you're a simp and a white knight. And you can be the fuck up out of here. Peace. Go subscribe to Brini Lee's channel. He doesn't speak for me. Get the hell out of here, man. Dude, Kevin's taking a lot of slings and arrows, man. I'm telling you what, man. Dude. Anyway, this is another problem with modern women. They don't like it when men respond in kind, right? If a woman is acting like a bitch and a man responds like an asshole, that's a problem. If a woman disrespects her man and he checks her, that's a problem too. This again, gentlemen, this right here, this is the female id on display for all the world to see. Ignore my solipsism, ignore my narcissism, ignore my childish behavior, ignore my selfishness, ignore my bad behavior, and treat me like a princess. Nah, princess, ain't happening. Jessica 100% deserved what she got. Kevin had every right to be perturbed by her lack of self-awareness, but in the end, Jessica got exactly what she wanted. She wanted an accurate assessment of where she was in the sexual marketplace hierarchy, and she got it. Hell, Jessica should thank Kevin. She should thank him because not only did she get her 15 minutes of fame, she is now aware of the fact that she is average at best. I mean, dude, that's how this goes. With this newfound knowledge, Jessica can now work towards becoming an above average woman so that maybe she can start to attract men like Kevin instead of calling his show and asking him for free advice, something for nothing.
Okay, so do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average-looking woman. Average-looking woman who's older. Average-looking older woman with a 13-year-old son.
Damn, Kevin's hurting my feelings. Damn.
Average-looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy.
Ooh.
This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one.
Nope.
And it wasn't necessarily what he said, it was his whole attitude.
False. It was exactly what he said. That's the problem women have. And to be quite frank, the energy Kevin had was clearly the energy he needed. Otherwise, Jessica would not have taken him seriously. Modern women want to be treated with kid gloves, but they don't respond to this kind of treatment. Modern women respond to frankness. Modern women respond to men who are forthright. Modern women respond to men like Kevin. Let me ask you guys something. You guys can put you guys can answer this in the chat, or you can answer this in the comments. Oh, here we are. Yeah. So Dutch is Dutch is back. Yeah, never been to this channel, but I see he's emotional AF. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I am. I'm quite emotional sometimes. I get triggered by ignorant fucks like you. So you can go fuck yourself. Let me ask you guys this question here. Real talk. Real talk. Who do you think has helped women more? Kevin Samuels or Derek Jackson? Kevin Samuels or Derek Jackson? Who has helped modern women more? There's not a Derek Jackson follower alive who has a happy, healthy relationship with a man they respect and love where there is traditional masculinity and femininity. Not one. Not one. This is what happens when men speak about women who are not worthy of respect and dignity with respect and dignity. Derek Jackson has built an empire on taking advantage of a, well, desperate demographic by telling them exactly what they want to hear rather than what they need to hear. And let me make this clear. I want to make one thing clear. I do not hate Derek Jackson. Dude, never have, never will. Not one bit. Derek Jackson has my utmost respect. Why? Well, because he recognized early on that it is far more profitable to tell women what they want to hear rather than what they need to hear. He probably looked in the mirror and said to himself, I'm a good-looking brother. I'm articulate. I'm well-spoken, etc., etc. And I know sisters don't respond well to any kind of advice that could actually help them. So I'm simply going to tell them what they want to hear. Derek Jackson found his hustle and it made him a millionaire. Whether or not I disagree with his message, that's immaterial. He knows which side his bread is buttered on, and he took the appropriate action. I will never, ever, ever knock another man's hustle regardless of how moral it is or isn't. That said, Derek Jackson has destroyed the hopes and dreams of more women than Kevin Samuels ever could. At least the women who call Kevin's show are actually told the truth, right? They can bitch and moan and whine and cry that the big bad Godfather was mean to me, but at least they understand what their deficiencies are, at which point they can decide on what to do based on the truth. But when guys like Derek Jackson tell them that they are perfect the way they are, that they don't need to change a thing, and that their children are blessings, and that single moms for grown men only, he is leading women astray. How many women who call into Kevin's show were disciples of Derek Jackson? What percentage of women who watch Kevin's show are former subscribers to Derek Jackson? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Let me know in the comments below. I'd be very interested to see what you guys think. Let's continue.
I was cringing for her.
I'm sure you were.
And a lot of women, we have this thing where we feel other women's pain, right? So that's why we stick together. I don't think men have this, but women have so much empathy that we feel each other's pain. So if you're talking about one woman, you're talking about us all.
Wait a minute. I thought all women weren't like that. I thought every woman was unique and special in her own way. I thought us big, bad misogynists had it all wrong. You know, it's funny, even though women inherently hate each other, it's funny that even though they hate each other, that they close ranks and band together when guys like Kevin pull their collective card. Dude, seriously, women will throw shade at each other from every different direction until a man calls them out. Then if you're talking about one of us, you're talking about all of us.
And I think that's what rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way. I don't feel like he handled that situation or that woman with care. I mean, it made him go viral.
Wait. Say what?
You're talking about us all. And I think that's what rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way. I don't feel like he handled that situation or that woman with care.
Translation, he hurt her feelings. No, Kevin handled Jessica exactly the way she deserved to be handled. He told her the truth, and he didn't sugarcoat it. He did her a favor. But of course, modern women don't see it that way because all they can think about is how they felt watching this. Never mind that most modern women secretly agree that the man Jessica is looking for is way out of her league, right? Never mind that most modern women secretly agree that her 13-year-old son is a major deterrent on the dating market. Nope. He didn't handle her with care. with care, and that's why you're upset. Give me a break.
I mean, it made him go viral. Congratulations. But you also hurt someone in the process.
And how exactly did he hurt her? By telling her the truth? Huh? By finally telling her something she's needed to hear for the last, I don't know, decade plus? If Kevin really wanted to hurt Jessica, he would have told her exactly what Derek Jackson would have told her. Right? Guys, listen, man. Modern women are allergic to the truth, man. Like, it is a legit allergic reaction. Their eyes water, their faces get puffy, their sinuses get all congested, the whole nine. Jesus Christ.
Which I don't respect. There's a difference between when you're speaking the truth in love and when you're speaking the truth in hurt.
Oh.
And that's why it's really important that before you sit on this YouTube and start giving people advice,
Ooh, public service announcement,
is that you do your own inner healing work.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Kevin Samuels must be hurt. That's why he hurt Jessica's feelings, because deep down inside, Kevin Samuels is a sad individual.
Because I do feel like Kevin Samuels is at a place where he does give a lot of good feedback and advice. However, some of the things that he says, you can feel the pain. When women ask you who hurt you.
When women ask you who hurt you. Now, number one, the pain that Kevin is feeling, that's not from whatever's happened in his past, right? Kevin doesn't suffer foolishness very well. He never has, never will, right? But here we go with the, oh, who hurt you argument. Every time women hear unflattering truths about themselves, their go-to argument is who hurt you, right? So if you guys are looking for the answer to this who hurt you that you're going to get on social media, pay attention. As Steve the Dean says, get your crayons out. Now, there are a few reasons why women like to ask who hurt you. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, guys, this is a rhetorical question, right? They don't really want the answer. Who hurt you? It's kind of a wannabe mic drop, right? It's kind of a wannabe mic drop. They treat it like the big joker. They think that as soon as they ask you who hurt you, that they have won the argument. But women ask this question in bad faith. And there are really three main reasons. The first reason women ask who hurt you is because they know they don't have an answer to what you're saying. They know that what you said, posted, tweeted, live stream is 649% true. But as we all know, women will never acknowledge immutable truths about themselves if it puts them in a bad light, right? We all know women avoid accountability like it's the plague, right? But they are deathly allergic to anything that makes them look bad. So when any given woman hears a guy like me say, well, most women don't break up with their boyfriends until they've started seeing someone else, they go into damage control. And they deny it vehemently, knowing full well that she herself has someone in the wings, waiting in the wings, in the event her current relationship doesn't work out. Gentlemen, women are professional liars. They're professional cheaters. They are also professional public relations managers. They are their own best client. This is why they go absolutely mental anytime someone suggests that they aren't these amazing, beautiful, spectacular beings completely above reproach. The second reason women ask who hurt you is this is a shaming tactic. This is a go-to shaming tactic. This is a go-to shaming tactic that women like to use to disqualify you as an authority, to disqualify you as someone who has no idea what he's talking about. When women ask, who hurt you? In this context, they indirectly want you to believe that they believe that if you have failed with a woman, then you are automatically barred from giving anyone advice about dealing with women. Interestingly enough, they never apply the same standard to anything else, right? So for example, Stephen Curry's missed a lot of shots in his career. In fact, Stephen Curry has missed most shots he's taken in his NBA career. So if he were doing a video tutorial on how to shoot, would women say, okay, Stephen, you're in the NBA, but how many shots have you missed? Of course not. Why? because Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter in NBA history. And to become the shooter he is today, he had to hone his craft. He had to practice. He had to take a lot of shots, which means he had to miss a lot of shots. Even women would acknowledge that it would be silly to base their opinion of Stephen Curry on his missed shots. So when they say, who hurt you? They're telling Stephen Curry he's not a very good shooter because he's missed a lot more shots than he's taken during his life. They're telling us that we're not qualified to speak about how to handle women because we failed with a lot more women than we've had success with. Is that it? Obviously, they know this is BS. Because even they understand, even women understand that getting good at anything, it requires practice and it requires repetition. They know that practice and repetition comes with failure. And with failure comes adjustments, and eventually success is achieved. Pointing to someone's failures as a response to their success is about as dumb as trying to nail Jell-O to a tree. The third reason is actually tied to the second reason. Yes, women love to point to our failures with women as a way to disqualify us as experts, but they also like to point out our failures with women to simply point and laugh at us, to highlight the fact that we've endured emotional pain at the hands of a woman. They're pointing the finger at us and saying, ha ha ha, you got played. You got your heart broken. I had people in my TikTok, by the way, they banned my TikTok account, right? I used to have people in there all the time telling, you're still not over your breakup with Amy. Tatiana played you like a fiddle. Victoria cheated on you with her ex-boyfriend and you're still salty about it. All they're doing here is pointing out that something bad happened to you and laughing about it, right? Now, they ask, who hurt you in this context, to humanize you. They do this to take you down a peg, to let everyone know that you have cried about a woman, or that you made a fool of yourself because of a woman, or that a woman made you look bad. And the reason they do it is because they respect the authority with which you speak, and it scares them. You are so rock solid and precise with your talking points that women subconsciously think to themselves, uh-oh, this guy's pretty goddamn convincing. I mean, I know he's telling the truth, but most men-centric guys are dorks and incels. But this dude is well put together. He speaks well. His thoughts are organized, and he's describing the kinds of things I happen to be doing right now. Oh, wait a minute. Got to tell Kevin that I'm not available tonight. Right? He's describing things I'm doing right now to the letter. I need to make him look stupid by letting everyone know he's not Mr. Perfect and that he has been humiliated by women before. That entire subconscious thought pattern manifests itself through the words, who hurt you? And when spoken in this context, women are not only co-signing what you're saying, they're also telling you that they admire you and may even be turned on by you. It's almost like an indirect, purposeless shit test, if you will. Normally, when you start talking to a girl and she starts to feel herself becoming attracted to you, it is in their programming to test you, right? They want to ensure that you are who you present yourself to be. When a woman asks who hurt you, she's doing almost the same thing. She's not asking this to throw you off. She thinks she is, but she isn't. No, what she's really doing is testing to see if you see through this disingenuous rhetorical question that is asked in bad faith 112 out of 100 times. Because if you can, it verifies your sexual market value. Case in point, everybody's favorite Karen, the Silver Sable. Yes, on that legendary night when Kevin called in and absolutely fried everybody, mainly Silver Sable. Silver Sable looked at Myron Gaines and said, who hurt you? Myron showed her that he understood why she asked the question. That turned her on. And they may or may not have smashed, right? So those are the three most common reasons women use the who hurt you shaming tactic. But now I'm going to point out, if I can, 2 reasons this shaming tactic is fraudulent. The first reason is that women are snowflaking when they ask who hurt you. By asking you this question, women are insinuating that there is only one female in existence capable of lying and cheating and engaging in terrible behavior as a significant other. OMG! Who was the one woman who committed these unspeakable crimes that I have never even come close to thinking about? I mean, I read about these kinds of women and I see them on TV, but I've never actually met one in real life. But you actually had a relationship with her. Tell me all about her. Did she act the way she's portrayed in the legendary Lost Scrolls of the 1% of women who are terrible to men? They act like they think nefarious, deceitful, unfaithful women are as rare as Bigfoot. That's the first element. The second element is a direct insult to you. Not only did you go a centuries-old advice to disobey the wisdom of the Lost Scrolls, to stay away from these rare creatures that have only been photographed from afar, you were dumb enough to get into a relationship with her. You are so stupid that you committed to the only nefarious, deceitful woman who has ever existed in the history of time. Guys, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. We know it and they know it. Women know damn well how they operate. They know they monkey branch. They know they cheat. They know they lie. They know they make terrible wives, mothers, and girlfriends. But they want you to think that they're unaware of their own nature. Now, the second reason this counter-argument is as fake as a fucking fugazi is that women act like it's one relationship with one woman that shaped our views in terms of how they move in relationships, right? As if to imply that all it took was one relationship with the only terrible woman who ever lived for us to come to the conclusions that we've come to. Oh, women are acting like we all just decided to get together and just make up stories about women, right? Our detractors, they act like we all just woke up one morning and said to ourselves, hey, let's completely detonate the sexual market by making up stories about how terrible women are. We'll make up stories about their lies. We'll come up with juicy stories about how they cheat. We can even create an entire smear campaign just to make them look bad. This is how they act, gentlemen. But the truth, you want to know what the truth is? Millions of men have had the same exact experiences with millions of women, millions of times. No man has ever formulated an opinion on relationships after just one relationship. Oh no. When the same things continue to happen to him again and again and again, I mean, wouldn't he rightfully conclude that women behave in a particular way in relationships, right? That man eventually asks himself, am I the only one who's ever gone through this? Am I the only man? Am I the only guy whose girlfriend cheated on me with her boss? Right? Am I the only guy who acted like I was cool with her texting her ex only to find out she was still sleeping with him? Am I the only guy whose wife had another man's child while she was married to me? Am I the only guy whose wife took him to the cleaners in divorce court? Am I the only guy who got dumped by his girlfriend a week before spring break? Am I the only guy who got his girlfriend stolen by his personal trainer? Am I the only husband who ignored my wife's late night texting? Am I the only guy who found out his girlfriend was cheating on him 2 weeks after she told me I was husband material? Then after he asks himself, he asks the internet. The internet tells him, no, you most certainly are not the only guy who has gone through this. Women love to play dumb, don't they? They love to give the impression that they are unaware of their own thoughts, their own actions, their own motivations. They love to play dumb when their friends ask her, you know he wants to sleep with you, right? And they say, how dare you imply such things? I'll have you know that Mark's intentions are as pure as my chastity. Who hurt you is quite simply another shaming tactic and a long line of deflection techniques designed to make us think that they have won the argument. But men here, we know that's the opposite. We know it. The phrase, who hurt you, is womanese for, you're right about me and every woman I know, but I can't acknowledge that you're right. Otherwise, I have to pretend to be different. Ladies, Brittany Lee, come up with something other than who hurt you. That shit's played out. And it's only used by those who know they have lost the argument. I'm an old man. I got to trim my nose hairs. All right, let me read some of these super chats here. Super chats coming in hot and heavy. Looks like I missed. You know what? Even though I missed those super chats, I know how to go back and find them. Thank you guys all very much for tuning in today. It's always much, much appreciated. Guys, be sure to like the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Push this up in the algorithm. I'm trying to push this thing up. I've got Coach EO just made an appearance, so we're gonna be taking phone calls here shortly. Give me 2 seconds here. Let me look at my super chats, because I know I missed. Looks like I missed. No, show me the super chats. Show me. There we go. All right. Here we. Oh, whoa. Shout out. Hang on a second. Wait, hold on. Oh, man, it won't let me see his whole message. Shout out to Black Lemur 502. I'm going to start calling him Black Lemur 500 with another $500 super chat. Says, as one of your colleagues once said, you don't end up in a... Yeah, that sucks. Unbelievable. Put that in the comments again, Black Lemur. I'm about to bring on Coach EO so we can start taking these calls here. Lord Sinister 707, $5 says, Adele even lost weight. Adele even lost weight. Absolutely. Lavord 1980 with the $20 super chat says, just paying my dues, bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very, very much. St. Jim with the $2 super chat says, please give Black Lemur 2009 a... You know what? It's time to give him a wrench. Hold up. You know what? You're right. You are absolutely right. Dude, Black Lemur has... Black Lemur, I need you to text. I need you to throw something. Ah, okay. So Devin says, you don't pull up in a Bentley with a fat chick. That's what Black Lemur said. Absolutely. Absolutely. As one of your colleagues said. Oh, yeah. No. You don't pull up in a Bentley with a fat bitch. No, you don't. You don't do that. Appreciate you guys very much. I'm going to bring on Coach EO here very, very shortly. And I'm going to get his thoughts. On this particular video. One thing that I learned about EO on the 7, the very first episode of the 7, is that EO is a fucking savage. I had no idea how much of a savage this guy was. Like, this dude, like, he's a real one. He's a real one. So, glad to have him aboard. Actually, let me go ahead and bring him in now. Hang on a second. Let me bring in Coach E. All right, EO, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Ah, perfect. So
Yes.
I'm going to bring up the... Ah, perfect. Awesome. So my screen...
What's good, bro?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself, man? How you feeling?
Fantastic, man. Busy day, but happy to be on with you.
Yeah, man. You told me you were... And pay no attention to that. So you told me you were getting fitted for a suit.
Well, yeah, for the CME, every time I do a speech, I get a brand new suit because I like to go in fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And my tailor just jacked it all up every single time I went in. It was worse than the last time. I actually mentioned it in my speech.
Oh, did you?
And yeah, I mentioned it in my speech. There was a purpose for mentioning it. So I told her, I said, look, I can't come back anymore. We'll reconvene when I return back from Vegas.
Okay.
And I finally had the opportunity to jump in there. And now I'm going a different direction. I'm going with a nice pinstripe. So it probably worked out for the better because she upgraded me like additional $400 upgrade for nothing.
Woo!
So
wow. Listen, I'll take that all day long. Looks like I missed a a super chat from C-Dub. He's been a member of mine for a good solid year. Let me see what his was. C-Dub says, "Oh, this woman explicitly asked for honest advice. KS gave it.
Right.
And Brini tries to dog Kevin for giving her precisely that. Can't make this shit up." So you saw the clip that I was talking about, EO. What are your thoughts?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this Miss Brini Lee?
Okay, so the first thing that I noticed is, so let me say something about Kevin Samuel. Shout out to Kevin.
Yeah, man.
Kevin is consistent across the board. Okay, so when she mentioned that he needs to be more loving, he needs to adjust his tone, Kevin is this way all the time.
Right.
When Kevin talks to men, he's like this. Okay.
Right.
That's what makes you, in my view, and what I teach my men is that's what makes you a high value man is an authentic man.
Right.
Okay. In addition to controlling your finances, being in a very good financial position, having assets, things like that.
Right.
But the most important thing, in my view, of being a high value man is being true to yourself as a man and authentic always. So if you watch Kevin, look, he talks to men the same. It was men's week, I think, this week. Men's week.
Men's week. Yeah.
Look when the dudes came on. He was like, "Yo, you don't even know how to talk. You're talking about women don't know how to listen, but you don't know how to communicate." So he was going in on men. So for a woman to say, "Hey, he needs to be more loving and empathetic," like the woman she mentioned. Hey guys, check this out. When a woman doesn't want you, is she empathetic to you?
Nope. No, she's not.
She treats you like dog shit.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And she disrespects you. She doesn't care about your feelings. Where's the empathy when you have to let a man down? If you want a woman, you shoot your shot.
Right. And
she's not interested in you, whether just tonight or any night, just not her type, whatever. She prejudges you based on appearance or vibe or whatever. Is she nice to you? No, she's disrespectful as shit.
Yes.
So where's the empathy? They only want empathy when it comes to their feelings. But when it comes to a man, very little empathy, very little respect. So I'll say this. I don't condone or teach men to lie to women. Here's why. Because there's harsh consequences on the man to lie to women. Okay. However, disclaimer, I can see why they lie to women, because these motherfuckers, excuse my language, YouTube chill. And I hope I don't get the channel taken down. These motherfuckers lie to themselves all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. These guys, women want to be lied to.
Yes.
I mean, it should. And look, that doesn't mean you should, man, because I said this at the CME during my speech. I said, your truth will push people into their truth. Okay. So the more honest you are, who they are is going to come out, whether it's their insecurities, they're not ready for what you're proposing. So the truer you are to yourself, the truer people are going to be in terms of displaying to you who they are. Yes. If that makes any sense.
That makes perfect
So I said
sense.
that. See, if you play games with women, they're going to play games with you.
Right.
If you don't play games with women, even if they attempt to play games with you, as long as you're centered where you need to be, you should be fine. So there was a few other points, Donovan, I want to mention real quick.
Sure, yeah, go ahead. Absolutely, man.
Okay. Nobody told that girl to come on that show.
Right.
You know, the one that he gave her an average at best?
Yeah, Jessica, man.
Nobody told that woman to come on the show. He didn't beg her to come on that show. She came on the show. And I want to say something else. That fat lady from England or wherever the fuck.
Brini Lee.
Yeah. I hate to say the fat lady because I don't want to get your channel taken down or something. But that fat-ass lady from London,
right?
She was talking some shit. Let me say this real quick. She said that he could have been more polite, more loving,
more handled her with care,
with this approach. Yet that girl loved it. She was looking down at her phone, being silly.
She loved it.
Soaking up the free attention. She absolutely loved that moment. So for any woman out there that says, "Oh, he was harsh to her, he belittled her, he could have been nicer, he could have been more empathetic, he could have been more loving," she loved it. She was looking down at her phone, wasn't even paying that much attention to him.
Nope.
So I'll say that these girls out here are goofballs. Okay,
they are goofy. They're goofy, man.
They're goofy, man. So invest very little in these women. And I'll throw it back to Donovan, but let me tell the audience something.
Let's do it.
The only high value woman there is on the planet, there's only one kind. if she's coachable.
Bingo. Oh my God.
I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how fat your ass is or how long you're in the gym. I don't care what you are. If we can't deal with you, we can't coach you, we can't groom you for greatness, because honestly, men are the great ones. We're the great ones.
Of course.
At the end of the day, we're the great ones. So if you the only high value woman on the planet, and really there's no other women, is the coachable woman. If you're not coachable, you're nothing. You're low value. So
that to me, and a while back, and again, the phone lines are open, guys. 516-387-1987. 516-387-1987. The phone lines are open. Anything you want to ask us about what we talked about, dating, relationships, etc., etc. One thing that I'm always very sort of keenly aware of, and I've done it both ways, EO. I have lied to women and I have been honest with women. And what I found was that the more I accomplished in my life, the less I had to lie. I've never lied to a woman about what I have or what I've accomplished, but I always sort of led with my fake wallet when I didn't have much game. But when I was living in the Vegas high-rise, driving an Audi, and I was up to my eyeballs in, call it booger sugar, and exotic dancers, I didn't have to lie. I was always completely honest. Yeah, listen, I'm not looking for anything. I'm just looking for something casual. And girls are always very accepting of that because they know you have options, right? Options keep women in line, period.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. No, definitely. I teach my men that all the time is, live that dope life.
Right.
Build a dope life, a life that you're in love with, and then any person you touch, and it could even be men.
Right.
Like when I talk to Donovan, and let's say I want Donovan to come down to Chicago. I say, hey, D, I'm throwing a big party. I want you and Devin to be there. Bring Devin. I'll fly you guys down. That's a dope experience.
Yeah, man.
Even the way the CME, the way you threw the CME, the experience as a whole, it was a dope vibe, dope experience. And so you want to live that life that we call dope.
Right.
And so when you have that life, you're not desperate. You're not needy. You can pass on that ass.
There it is.
You can look at this woman and say, hey, I could already tell by looking at you, the way you conduct yourself, the way you keep brushing your hair back, the way the emphasis on your exterior appearance, how into yourself you are, that you're a low value woman. And I'll pass on you just based on your mannerisms and your body language. I can tell, I can read a woman how she walks to the bathroom, and I can tell if this woman's low value.
Real talk, man.
Yeah,
that takes experience.
So the truer you are to yourself, Donovan, the truer you are to yourself, the more honest you are with yourself, the better quality experiences you're going to have with women and with people in general.
Right, and that includes being honest. You have to be honest with yourself. All right, we got a couple of callers on the line. Let us go to Jerry in Trinidad. Jerry, you are on live with Donovan and EO. Go ahead.
Yo, Dono, you there hearing me?
I can hear you.
Yo, Dono, just a short message. Just calling to tell you congrats on the CME. It look off the chain.
Thank you.
And I really loved the end off with the double fire fingers, for you know who. And yeah, I was just saying, big props. Really proud of you, man. Really proud. I've been a listener from probably around like 2018 up to now. Wow. You and Coach Greg Adams. I got into you guys at like the same time,
Oh, good.
And EO, I'm just saying that I saw you on the 7. The episode last week, and I didn't really realize that you were such a savage as well, man. And I love the fade. And I'm gonna subscribe to your channel, guys, and keep up the good work, Donald. Love you guys, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, he said he didn't realize that not only were you a savage, you got the crispiest hairline and the tightest fade ever.
Hey, here's that champion game that I talk about. When the pandemic came, I had my barber, and being that everything was closed down, I said, screw this. I'm not going to look. How can a champion look all messed up?
Right.
So I went and bought the tools, and now I cut my own hair. I cut my hair better than my barbers. So all of this I do myself. It's not perfect, but I'll be honest with you. It's better than all of the barbers I've ever seen. My attention to detail, everything. So guys, you can learn anything you want to learn. I shouldn't say anything, but if you put forth effort and you're committed, you'd be surprised the things that you can teach yourself and learn.
This is the thing, man. I have actually cut my own hair since I was 15 years old. Why? Because when we moved from Hawaii to Oklahoma, this was 1992, we moved to a little town called Altus, Oklahoma. there were 6 black people there, and they were all in my family. And if there are only 6 black people there, there was really not there wasn't a black barbershop. So I saved up. I went to the Walmart and I got some clippers, and I learned to cut my own hair. I haven't been, dude, honestly, I haven't been to the barber in forever. All my beard stuff. And again, sometimes I kind of fucked up my hairline, which is why I decided to take it all off. Every once in a while that does happen. But yeah, man, it's amazing what you can teach yourself if you're motivated enough.
Yeah, I was about $175 a month on haircuts, about $175 a month. So if you do the math, I mean, over a year, you save yourself a significant amount of money. That could be a vacation. That could be investment into a stock. So, take a look at your life and see where you can make cuts. Whatever you think you could do yourself, try to master that and save the money and invest it somewhere else.
Good stuff, man. We got Geeky Anomaly on the line. Before I go to him, Big Brandon in the chat says, who hurt you? Answer. There was Brenda, Letitia, Linda, Felicia, Dawn, LaShawn, Inez, and Alicia, Teresa, Monica, Sharon, Nikki. What? Tell me what you want. DMX. The late great DMX featuring Cisco. That's funny.
Hey, you know what, Donovan? Monica. You know what the truth is about who hurt you? At the end of the day, it's the man hurting himself dealing with a low-value woman.
Yep.
So it's not really that the woman is hurting you, men. It's that you're hurting yourself, being desperate for sex, being desperate for that woman when you should be desperate for the man in the mirror. So just remember that it begins and ends with the man. That's my mantra. That'll outlive me. But don't be desperate for women. Be desperate for the man in the mirror. Be desperate for him. Make him great. Build that champion first. You'll be surprised how many options open up for you as you just tread through society because of how you feel about yourself and what you're accomplishing as a man. That energy is just going to bounce off you, and the women are going to see it. So just remember, no woman can hurt you. At the end of the day, only you're hurting you by dealing with a low-value woman.
Sub to this guy's channel, man. Good God almighty. Let's go to Kevin in Vegas, a.k.a. Geeky Anomaly. What's going on, Kevin?
Hey, Donovan. Good to talk to you again.
Absolutely. What's up?
Hey, can I ask Coach EO anything, or did it have to be on the topic? My bad.
No, if you ask Coach EO anything, you are no longer... I'm just kidding. You can ask him whatever you want.
Okay. Hey, Coach. Good to meet you at the CME. I just bought your book this morning. Should arrive tomorrow.
Yes.
Sweet. Thank you. Good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah. And so my biggest question is, hey, by the way, this will inform Donovan as well. I got headhunted for that job, and I got the offer, and I accepted.
Oh, the job that's going to pay you more money and more responsibility and all that.
Yeah, a lot more.
Yeah. All right. Good for you.
I don't.
There we go.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. I hope I can still help you with the future CMEs.
That's all good,
but
man.
This will have to take priority.
Absolutely.
But anyway, Coach, what I wanted to ask you was, on my first day walking into this job, and it's just shy of 6 figures, walking into this job, how do I establish frame? What is the number one suggestion on what I should do on my first day to set the precedence for how I expect to be treated and stuff like that?
Wow. Good
well, good question, but you're gonna have to earn it. Okay. Respect isn't just granted to you, respect is earned. And so it starts with you. So I say you go in and soak up as much information, learn as much as you can. Cause remember, you're starting from, you're being introduced to the company. So you got this promotion, congratulations, but this is just the very beginning. So all the prep work that you do from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you go to bed at night, every single day is what's going to prepare you for the business world. It's going to prepare you for dealing with a woman. It's going to prepare you how to grieve when a loved one passes on. So everything you do, every move you make in your life, from the moment you go to bed, how disciplined you are, how systematic you are with your schedule, how you don't derail from your schedule, even if a woman calls or somebody hey, let's go to a ball game. Hey, you can't go to the ball game. Maybe next month, but right now I'm focusing on this. So the more disciplined and structured you are as a man, you'll be able to go into any situation and permeate that. So I'll tell you this. It's not just going into this job. It's every single thing you do in your life. Every purchase, every investment, everything you pass on, every habit that you let go of, and every habit that you bring on, this is what builds that champion. So I'll tell you this, from the business standpoint, look the part, whether reach out to me, because I work on image and style, or reach out to Kevin. Focus on your image. Image matters. People
Yes.
want good looking, fit, energetic people working for them. So don't be lazy in your speech. Don't be lazy in your approach to the work. Be ready, soak up information, be a team player, #same team. That's the focus.
Yes, sir.
And so, and make connections. Okay. Network as much as possible. Somebody wants to, hey, there's a networking event after work.
Yes.
Go to the networking event.
Yes.
Talk to people, introduce yourself, make sure people know you. But remember, respect is earned. It's not granted.
Got it.
Okay, very good. Any other questions, Kevin?
No, that's it. Thank you. Good to talk to you guys.
Absolutely, man. Thank you to Kevin, aka Geeky Anomaly. Yeah, he told me in the Sunday Zoom call that there was a job that he was applying for, and he was more than happy. I think he knew he was probably going to get it, but it's really, really good. I'm glad that he did.
Sweet. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Sorry about that. So we have Olivia here for another night, and one of her friends is coming over. So now we're having girls over for spending the night. They're gonna braid each other's hair and talk about boys and all that good stuff. So we'll see what happens. Oh, by the way, a lot of you guys asking what the name of Coach EO's book is. It's called "Cut the Bullshit: The Guide to Living Your Authentic Self." I put the link in. In the chat. I'll also put the link in the description. The guy on the cover actually looks a lot like EO, so not the imposter. not the imposter. Okay, let us go to Daniel in Alaska, who wants to talk about being coachable. Dan, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How you doing, Dan?
So I'm a little young, but at the same time, I've gotten the wisdom from older people, and it's going to sound a little motivational speaky, but it still stands true. Basically, the thing you were saying about how she's got to be on your page, it doesn't matter whether you're 21 or 31. She's got to be on your page, because if she's not on your page, she's holding you back. If you're fighting for control of the car, she's going to crash it, get out, and she's going to climb in a Ferrari and leave you on the side of the road.
Ooh. Wow.
So at the end of the day, whether it's for a hookup or whatever, she's got to be on her page. Even if that means that you're 21 and you get 4s and 5s, be proud of your 4s and 5s.
Okay, all right.
And know that you're going somewhere at some point. And also on another note, okay, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought.
That's all good, man.
So also on another note, that also applies to anywhere you go as a man, is what I've learned.
Okay.
Everybody's got to be on your page where you're going, even if it's at a job. The boss tells you to do something, you say, okay, yes, sir, but then you get to it. You don't let him stand there humiliating you, rambling at you. You say, okay, now I'm going to get to it, yes, sir, and hop to it. And you cut the bullshit. Because if you don't demand respect where you go, people will not give it to you.
No, they will not.
Everywhere you go, you have to assert yourself.
How old are you, Daniel?
That's all I have to say.
How old are you, Daniel?
I am 26, but I grew up with a single mom, and basically I had to learn to stand up for myself.
There you go. Well, congratulations on finding.
It's made me strong.
Well, I'll tell you this, Daniel, and thanks for the call. Congratulations to Daniel for finding men-centric content like this. I tell guys all the time, EO, guys will call the show or they'll write into me, hey, Donovan, I'm 18, 19, 22 years old. The first thing I'm thinking is congratulations for finding this community at such a young age. What of oh, by the way, somebody in the chat says, what's the name of this dude's channel? It is Coach EO, Coach Everett Overton. Actually, you know what? I'll put the link to your channel in the chat.
Yeah, if you just search Coach EO, it's going to pop right up.
Yep,
so,
yep. Search Coach
Thank
EO.
You.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely, man. Yep. This is why I knew I had to. This is why I knew that I had to feature you more, because I don't think that enough people know about who you are. And it don't listen, man. It only took me. I mean, I watched your speech at another convention, and it did not take me long to figure out, okay, this guy knows exactly what he's talking about. I got to have this guy come and speak for me. Then I said to myself, okay, got to have this guy on the 7. And after that, I'm like, okay, got to have this guy on my channel on the regular, man. It's the,
Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank
absolutely.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
C-Dub says, Kevin/Geeky Anomaly, this is a question he's asking. He says, also, look for every available opportunity to make the lives of your bosses as easy and as smooth as possible. It pays back dividends many times over when you most need it. This is something, Everett, that I haven't really talked about as much as I should, but when we talk about quote-unquote high-value men, most men are talking about it from a perspective of being valuable to women. But I would submit, and you can agree or disagree, I would submit that a man who is high value to other men is automatically going to be high value to women. Am I right, wrong, indifferent? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the focus should be high value to yourself, number one, and then high value to everybody. Like everything you touch, there should be value to it. And you should do it like to the best of your ability. Like don't do anything half-hearted. Look, even me, if I know that I'm not interested in something, I won't even go. Like I'll just say, hey, listen, I'm not feeling that right now. The vibe isn't right. Maybe I'll consider it the next time around if there's an opportunity. But if you're not interested in something, I'm not saying like, hey, like turn everything down, but you got to know yourself. I want to say something to the point that the gentleman made about if your boss needs something, then you should be doing it. There's a line with that because then they can see you as like a pushover. Okay, there is a line with being a yes man. Yes. Okay. Now, at some point in the beginning, you do have to be a yes man, and the reason why you want to be a yes man is because you're learning game. Okay, you're learning the business game. So you want to know as much as possible, so that later on, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, when you're ready to maybe perhaps move on, you know how to run a successful business. So the whole point of you being a yes man at the beginning is selfish. Okay, remember that it's selfish because you're soaking up game. But remember, everything is a negotiation. At the end of the day, everything is a negotiation. So even train your superiors on how to treat you. So if you do two things for them, three things for them, now it's time to actually get something from them. So if you do three things for a superior, now you have to get something from them. Yes. I don't care what it is. It's got to be something because you're training even your superiors your superiors at the time to how to treat you. So remember, don't give away everything for nothing because I've been a boss. I've been in rooms full of bosses. If we know we got somebody that'll do anything for us, we really don't. We value the work, but we don't value them. Okay. We value the service, but we don't value the person. Okay. So you want people to value the person, not just the service.
What you just said there is extremely profound. And we talk about this all the time, EO. Game is normally talked about within the context of just being able to be attractive to women. But just like you treat you teach your superiors how to treat you, you teach your woman how to treat you, right? And I love that. I love that 3-to-2 ratio. A long time ago, I read an article on a website that says adhere to the golden ratio, which is 3-to-2. For every 3 nice things your girl or girl that you're seeing does for you, do 2 nice things in return. Now, depending upon the girl or your level of seriousness, sometimes you can go 3-to-1 or 4-to-1. Me, I try to keep it to 3-to-1, sometimes 4-to-1 because I'm an asshole like that. But you never ever want to be doing more for them than she is more for her than she's doing you. Obviously, it can't be like that when you work somewhere. However, when your boss asks you for a favor that is outside of your normal scope of work, guess what? Just like you said, after the second or third favor, you then need to ask them for a favor. Because if you don't, and just like you said, EO, it could be anything. It could be, hey, can I have a Coca-Cola? Can I get 30 minutes extra on my, whatever it is, you have to get something.
It's got to be something.
Right.
It's got to be something.
Because what will end up happening is that your boss will end up taking you for granted that they can just ask you for any old thing, any old favor. It's just like with women. If you just give women anything they ask anytime they want, not only does she take you for granted, she starts to lose respect for you, just like your boss will lose respect for you for saying yes to anything he or she asks you that's outside the scope of work. That 100%, that is 100% true, man. I agree with that.
Donovan, let me say one other thing on this subject. Get in the habit of pointing out things that no one else notices about people.
Okay.
That was one of my strengths where I would notice, like, if one of my bosses had a new suit on. No one else would notice it but me, because I pay attention to even how clothes fit people. being that I'm a style consultant.
Yeah.
So I remember one time I gave one of my bosses some advice because he was like, "Hey, how many suits do you have, man?" And I was like, "Quite a few." And he was like, "Yeah, I really need to update my wardrobe." I said, "Yeah, you know what? A couple suggestions. I would narrow the arms on your suit. Your suits are very boxy. I would narrow the arms on your suit. Also, your pants. There should be no break in the pants or very little break.
Right.
I noticed that your pants, you let them, they don't quite fit you. So I gave him a business card to someone that I deal with. I said, listen, I'm going to call this guy. I want you to get in touch with him. I'm going to make sure he takes good care of you.
Wow.
And then he went and got some suits. He came back. He said, dude, thank you so much. I recommended cologne to him. All kinds of stuff.
Wow.
This is stuff invaluable. No one's going to tell him this stuff.
No.
So even with women, instead of complimenting on how they look and she got a fat ass and can I take you out sometime, all that stuff, compliment her smile, compliment maybe her aura. Just say, hey, listen, I watched you for a little bit over here. Typically I don't sit and watch people. This isn't a common practice that I sit and watch people like this, but you caught my attention with just maybe your behavior, your smile, the way you treated that lady. I saw you went over there and you handed her something. I like that you were courteous in that moment. What's your name? So these are the compliments that actually have impact. It's not just her looks. So in summary, make sure that you find something about each person that you deal with that's special and personalized, something they've not heard, something maybe even if you got a boss, something his wife never tells him, something the guys at the golf course never tells him. Say something to him that he's been dying to hear, but he never hears.
Wow, man. That recommending taking care of your boss and tightening up his suit game. I can promise you, he couldn't thank you enough. He couldn't thank you enough, dude. He's probably thinking, dude, I need to get this guy a box of cigars because listen, when you get into another tax bracket, those things matter. There's like when you're a high value man and you're dealing with other high value men, there are so many things that we can offer to each other that are so much more valuable than money. And I can't think of anything more valuable than having the ear of men who are wise, men who know more than you do in a particular area, especially with being an image consultant. Holy smokes. Somebody said 666. Wow.
And you got to be careful too. You got to be careful to not outshine people too much. Like you got to know the line because because you could be sitting in a room with a bunch of millionaires and you're not quite a millionaire yet, but you have a millionaire mindset and you just don't have the money yet, but you're on your way to getting that money and that status. You could be in a room full of guys that they feel inferior to you, and then they'll exclude you from the group. So you gotta know, like, there's a limit, because then they don't want you around their women either. That's another thing. If you're a fly dude, they don't want you around their women. No, they don't want you to be a part. Like I've even had to sometimes be quiet during meetings back in my corporate days, because I was outshining everybody with my responses and my questions, and I would make my bosses look bad. So I was like, hey, I'm just gonna sit back in the back, because if I keep talking, hey, I'm going to put myself at a disadvantage. Right. So you got to remember, guys, if you're a dude with a lot of game and a great mouthpiece, do just enough.
Dial
even
back
with women,
power level
just
a bit, right?
enough, then dial it back. Yes.
Very good. That's really good advice. Let us go to Big Brandon. Big Brandon, you are on live with Donovan and Coach E. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I am fantastic, but I got to start out by doing one thing I haven't said in a long time.
Okay.
My man, Donovan. What's good, brother?
Man, I have finally recovered from the CME. I am now sleeping regularly 8 hours a day. I haven't woken up with the night sweats. My blood pressure is down. So life is good, man. How about yourself?
I am happy. My blood pressure is still the same. It's not high for a big guy. I'm getting over my injury.
Oh, good.
I hurt myself. Overtraining. I was trying to get ready for a competition. It's a long story.
Okay.
And I'm still working out, trying to improve. I've been picking up some clients to train.
Good.
Getting my certification. Trying to level up.
Oh, wow.
Following y'all's directions. Getting my smell good leveled up now too.
Yes, sir.
Getting my blue collar work attire a little bit more fashion friendly, even though I'm blue collar.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yes, sir.
Is your son still an ass kicker?
I'm proud of you. Huh?
Is your son still an ass kicker?
Oh yeah, he just won 3 medals over the weekend.
Oh my God!
He got 2 gold and 1 silver.
Woo! And your son is 11 years old now?
And he's 11. He's 11. He stands 5'1" and he weighs 130 pounds.
Wow! Like I would not fight your kid. I wouldn't fight you. I wouldn't fight your kid.
And he wears a size 9 shoe.
Nope, wouldn't fight him. Got to stay away.
Yeah. And we're headed to Florida next month for a massive jiu-jitsu tournament.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully
good.
he does well there. I got my fingers crossed.
Okay, good.
So,
good.
yeah, we're doing that. And everything else, I'm trying to stay motivated and focused.
Okay.
This gentleman, Mr. EO, Coach EO, my God, brother, Jesus Christ. What are you, plugged into, the Manosphere Matrix? My God.
Man, I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
I immediately went to his channel, hit the like button, and subscribe. I want to hear more.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, you know what? I do want to share with the audience that, I'm not a savage all day long. I touch on spirituality. I talk about building the complete man, inside and out.
Okay.
We start on the inside, then we come to the outside. Now, you could do both simultaneously, but, that's really my message. So sometimes you're going to come, I'm going to be a savage. Sometimes you're going to come, I'm going to be teaching on, spirituality a bit. I might touch that side, and then I'm talking about, then I'm talking about women, then I'm talking about business. So it's kind of a one-stop shop at my channel, but don't be surprised if you see me touch on some other subjects as well. But I appreciate that.
Okay, good. Good stuff, man.
Oh, man, I'm going to enjoy that. Oh, in the comment section, my man, Donovan, I put an answer to your question because I had a girl ask me that the other day at the club when I was going on a tyrant. She was like, who hurt you?
Uh-oh.
And me being the asshole, I was like, well, there was Linda, Felicia, Inez, Alicia. I immediately
Lisa, Veronica, Karen,
Cookie,
Vicky.
I met her at an ice cream parlor.
Right. About 3 Kims, LaToya, and Tina.
Yeah, Stacy, Tracy. So, and I said it. She turned around and walked right off. I'm like, that's how you win that one.
Oh, what? You don't like DMX, huh? All right, cool.
Right. So I am again proud. I'm glad you got your channel back.
Thank you.
There's a certain gentleman, I'm not going to name names, who wears a Make Women Great Again hat from Phony Dude, who has low melanin.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed watching the CME.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you enjoyed watching how well my man Donovan Sharpe and his quote wife, Miss Devin, put together a performance. I hope you enjoyed how everybody spoke at the CME.
Yes.
Because you, sir, are not a hater. You are now a fan. And I appreciate you being a fan.
Appreciate it, man.
Gentlemen,
yes.
Before I go, you know the rules at Club TSR, located on top of TSR Tower.
Yes.
I need you to comment. I need you to like. I need you to subscribe to not only his YouTube channel, but I need you to download Sharpe Stream.
Oh, there it is.
And join his Patreon, too. From my man, Donovan Sharpe.
Big Brandon checking in. He is he's the official the official bodyguard of TSR Towers. His energy is a lot like yours, man. He's a very high, very high energy, very positive guy. And he is his son, he sent me a picture of all of the trophies his son has. This kid's gonna be an ass kicker. Dude, his son has like a legit shot at being in the MMA in maybe 10, 12 years if he really wants to pursue it.
Yeah, it's good to hear from him, man. Like you said, good energy. Yep.
Egg Yolks, $5, says, very true. Can't always be a yes man. Use it to get the knowledge you need and use it for yourself. Been that guy. Now I'm doing my own. Appreciate that. Geeky Anomaly, $5, says, I got headhunted for this new job, but I chose to pursue it because at my current job, I'm the smartest guy in the room. Geeky Anomaly, you actually met Kevin, EO. He's the guy that helped me on the IT side. And even though it is kind of a drag that he might not be able to help at the next CME, I'm more than happy for the guy getting that raise. 8A Films, $5, says, my response to who hurt you is a better question is who raised you? Oh shit. Damn. I can't imagine too many people would really take too kindly to that. I had one more question that I wanted to ask you. Oh, So when it comes to, because again, you take a, obviously you do very men-centric content. And I wanted to go back to what we said about a woman being coachable. And I did a video yesterday. I took apart a guy who calls himself he doesn't call himself a dating coach, but he's sort of anti-dating coach, anti-men-centric community. We're all pickup artists and this and that and the other. But the one thing that shocked me, the one thing that was a telltale sign that he just wasn't where he needed to be, was when the dating coach that he hired to give him advice said, "What does your girlfriend offer you outside of sex?" And immediately this guy said, "Well, wait a minute, why wouldn't I count that?" He's like, "Well, wait a minute, she's the best sex I've ever had. Why wouldn't I count that?" And the way he looked, it was so obvious. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this guy talking about? Why shouldn't I discount sex? Sex is valuable. What's the problem with that kind of a mindset?
Well, you'll always lose. And if you always see if I were to coach a guy and he says it's the best sex I ever had, and the first thing that would come to my mind is then you haven't had enough sex. because the more sex, the more of anything that you have, the more that you see that it's just all right.
Right.
Okay. And this is anything. I could sit and have a steak Monday. I can go to Gibson's in Chicago, order a steak Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. By Thursday, I don't even want it anymore. Give me a hot dog on the side of the street for $5.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the more that you have of something, the more that you see that it's, did it, experienced it. It was cool, but it's not the end all be all. It's not worth going crazy for. It's not worth pedestalizing. I'm sure at some point I'll want it again, but I've seen what's over there and I'm good. Okay. So anytime that you're pedestalizing anything, it's a sure indication that there's a scarcity of that in your life. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll tell men this: if you pay attention to the act of sex, the man's doing most of the work.
Yes, of course.
I mean, at least you should be.
Yep.
I mean, you're the one penetrating. I mean, you're
That's
penetrating. Right. You're talking to her. You had to soften her up to even get her ready for sex. I don't want to be too, YouTube chill, but getting a woman like mentally ready, lubricated, that sort of thing, getting her ready for. See, foreplay isn't just touching the woman; it's talking to the woman.
Yes.
It's her looking at you. It's her watching you make moves in your own life. See, when a woman is watching you make power moves in your life, that's sexually attractive to her.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So if you're waiting on the act of sex to turn a woman on, you've already lost.
Wow.
Okay. So the sex happens in the woman's mind as she observes a man that respects and loves himself. So that's what I would tell you, is that at the end of the day, I'm the one that made sex good because I'm the one that put the images in your mind that now you watch this movie that I directed for you all day long, and that's what's making you ready for that situation with me. So I would tell men is this: at the end of the day, if you're pedestalizing something, there must be a shortage of that in your life.
Yes.
If you are able to pass on it, you could take it or you could pass on it. It has to be up to par and up to your standards. Then that's an indication this man is full in his life.
Dude, totally agree. It was pathetic how sure of himself he was. It was pathetic how I got to send you the video because this guy he was so condescendingly wrong. I was like, wait a minute, this dude is absolutely clueless. Let's go back to the phone lines. Got a couple more callers. Looks like you're calling from outside the U.S. Caller, you're on with Donovan and EO. Go ahead. Yes.
This is me?
Yes. Yeah. Caller, can you hear us?
Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you. Hey, Donovan. It's me, the entrepreneur from YouTube that I write down. If you remember, I was talking to you last year where I made my first cold approach, where I get free advice from you. Do you remember?
Yes. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Because I remember your accent, but the details leave me. Refresh my memory, because I do remember you, but I don't remember what exactly happened.
I was asking, how do you disrespect a woman? Because I didn't know how to do this back then, right?
Yes.
If I have to punch her. And
yes. Right. Well, yes, of course. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We're trying to keep it YouTube chill, but I understand now. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Since then, a lot of things changed. I buy all of your courses. I buy all of Sterling's courses and Fresh and Fit.
Good.
And it's because of you I met those guys, and I'm really, really grateful. And I'm just taking this time to say thank you, Donovan. And I have here I use some of my stocks, my winning stocks.
Yeah.
And I buy myself my own home gym.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
And what I did now is I built a home gym on my apartment, and now I'm going to get myself up on my wall a few pictures, like how do you call this? Like where you hang some pictures.
Yeah, I know where you're at. Yeah.
I have. I don't know how you call it in English. I'm sorry. I'm still trying.
There might not be an English word for it, to be honest, but that's okay. No problem.
But yeah, I have now a few pictures, and I would like to ask if I can put a picture of you up there on my wall to like have this a symbol. You know, like Donovan, you are really such a big part in my life that changed a lot, and it would be really an honor for me if I could do that.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, yeah, sure. I'd be honored to be a picture on your wall, man. Absolutely, thank you. Oh, okay, he dropped off. A couple more quick calls. Let's go to area code 612. Area code 612. You're on live with Donovan and EO. Go ahead.
What's good?
What's good?
I'm a 19-year-old college student from.
Call back. Call back. Blog Talk. Listen, you know, Blog Talk Radio is temperamental sometimes. Area code 330. You're on live with Donovan and EO. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Amar Kirmani from Washington.
Hey, what's up, Amar? How you doing, man? It's been a while since we've talked.
I'm good. Yeah, just I was busy.
Of course.
So I'm in a trouble that I work for a very liberal institute, and I am non-monogamous, not good at game, but not bad at it either.
Okay.
Have unshaken self-belief. So my party friends, they just give me up after 5 or 4 times once they see that ladies are interested in me and that I am very stoic.
Okay.
So how do I make a social circle? And I do not want to make through my professional institute because they are just extremely liberal.
Yeah, no, listen, I am 100%. Okay, area code 612, I got you back on. After Amar, we'll answer his question. Yeah, EO, this is very interesting. So what Amar wants to know is, and he wants to separate his business from pleasure. Always a wise decision. How does a man build up a social circle? More importantly, how does he build up a social circle of like-minded men? Because we know that men with our level of awareness, while we can hang out with men who don't have our level of awareness to keep it clean for YouTube, it can be detrimental in other sort of scenarios like cock blocking and sort of secretly hating. How can a man build a social circle of like-minded men?
All right, so this is how I did it in Chicago.
Okay.
So even like if you go to a bar, when you're walking in a bar, you usually see a bouncer. You should make a connect with the bouncer.
Yes.
See, you have to add value everywhere you go.
Right.
Even when you go in and you're talking to the bartender, tip that bartender extremely well. Okay, treat them well, tip them well, and as you're associating and building relationships with higher value people, look, the bouncer, he's high value. He lets people in and he can kick people out. So no matter what you guys think, that's a high value dude at a club or a bar. Okay,
that's right.
The bartender, he or she's slinging drinks. Okay. That's a high value person in that environment. Okay. The manager, the club owner, all of that. So you got to be the person that walks up, introduces yourself, compliments them on the environment, patronize the environment. Don't go in there and be a cheapskate and spend like $3 and only tip like the change. Like go in there and actually, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So go in there, patronize the business, tip well, treat them well. Cause look, they're working.
Yeah.
And look, servers always notice if you, and tip well at the beginning. Don't wait to the end. Right at the very front, you order a drink. Look, it depends on who you are, but if it's me, and I'm just going to I've done this before.
Okay.
If I knew I was going to be there for an hour or two, and I used to drink gin and tonic. I got my gin and tonic, maybe sometimes a Stella Artois. I don't drink anymore. I cut that out, but nothing against drinking.
Okay.
But I would tip about $30 to $40.
Huh. Okay. And that's
$30 to $40 for that one drink. And then after that, watch how their head's looking back for you.
Yes.
Looking back for you. And then people see that. So now as you're building relationships with people in certain environments, see, that's when people start to say, oh, hey, who are you? What do you do for a living? I see, because they're noticing how you treated other people and how they're now treating you. So when you walk in and you don't have to be carded anymore because you built a relationship with the doorman, you walk right in, sometimes even gives you passes like, yo, hey, VIP going in the back. And it's like, that's how you do it. And then now people see you like, oh shit, like this guy walked in. Who is he? On top of it, he's dressed real sharp, fly haircut, dope dude, dope life. So that's how you do it. You connect with higher value people, and then people in the environment will notice, and then that's your ticket in. That's how you do it.
Dude, listen to this. To add on to what you said, just said, do this at a restaurant, bar, club, wherever it is. When you create relationships with the high value people of that establishment, not only is your experience going to be elevated every time you go in there, if you happen to be with a lady friend, guess what? You walk up with your lady friend, the bouncer's like, hey, what's going on, Donovan? So she's like, oh,
That's
okay.
right.
The bouncer let him in.
That's
Dude,
right.
the hot bartender, hey, Donovan, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. Well, it looks, now all of a sudden, now you're the, I don't want to use the word alpha, but you're a made guy. This is that social proof. Women are sexually attracted to men who appear to be connected and have people in high places. And I'll tell you one last thing. This is why I always make it a point. And I do this at hotels all the time. Anytime Devin and I stay at a really, really nice hotel, the first thing I do, I take out a certain amount of money, and it's nothing but 20s. The bellman, I tip him $20. The guy who brings our room service, I tip everybody $20. And Devin asks me, like, okay, you don't have to tip them because gratuities included. It's like, no, I want money to exchange hands. Because when I need something, I want them to be right there. I locked myself out of my hotel room up in Vegas for the CME. It should have taken them 2 hours. They were there in 20 minutes, and I managed to get down to my keynote speech in time. This is what you do, and this is one of the most important lessons that men should learn in terms of being high value. Always, always tip the people who serve you very well. If you tip them well, they'll never forget you. My tattoo artist, he charges $175 an hour to go and tattoo people at their place. I pay him $400 an hour. Why? Because when I want a tattoo and I give him a call, I know he's going to drop everything that he's doing to come and tattoo me. These are the kinds of things that you need to know and understand in terms of how to move as a high value man.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's another thing, living that dope life. Let's say you're a season ticket owner. Let's say I have season tickets to the Bulls, to the Bulls, but there's a guy that I want to network with because knowing him and getting into that circle, I can leverage all those opportunities and advance myself.
Yes.
So let's say he likes the Bulls. Give him Bulls tickets when the Lakers come to town. They play the Lakers or a high value team. Instead of you going and saying, oh, I got to go to that game. Fuck that. Think about 6 months from now. Give him those tickets. Say, yo, listen, I know you're a big LeBron fan. Well, check this out. I got you set up at the Bulls game, 7:30 Friday night. You bring a guest. You got VIP seats.
Damn.
And so that right there, you're the boss now. Even if he has more money than you, you're the boss.
Yes.
Okay. So remember, you can be the boss with what you have right now in your bank account, in your closet, in the car you're driving. You can be the boss because the boss starts up here. Okay. The boss is up here and then it comes out here. All right. So just remember that sometimes having that high value lifestyle and that dope lifestyle is being able to have tickets to places and you give them away.
Yes.
You don't go, you give them away.
Dude, listen, what you just said, that dude will never forget that. 5-10 years from now, he'll be like, you know what? I remember way back in 21, you gave me Bulls tickets when LeBron and Anthony Davis and the Lakers were in town. I'll never forget that. When you do that for people, dude, they will bend over backwards. They will inconvenience themselves and they're not doing it because they feel obliged. They're doing it because they want to. That's the difference. Yeah, people
grateful.
are like, listen,
Yep.
I have no problem being indebted to a guy like you. I got the 19-year-old back on the line. This will be our last call of the evening. Go ahead, area code 612.
Yo, what's good? I called earlier.
Yeah, I got you. You say you're
I'm a
19 years old. You're a college student. Okay.
Oh, yeah. My name is Matt, though, but I want to say thank you for this advice, though, for real, because it's really helped.
Good.
But not only that networking advice, though, is 100 for real.
Yeah, man. Yeah, men have to know. Let me ask you this. So you're 19. What can, in terms of networking, what do you as because I just want to find out what the kids are thinking here. What does the typical 19-year-old man in this part of the world think networking is?
You gotta put yourself out there. You gotta look good, feel good, smell good. You gotta take care of yourself. You gotta look good in order for people to like treat you well. Then you gotta also take care, get your business done. You also gotta handle your business. That's what it's all about.
Good stuff. Well, thank you for calling the show. I greatly appreciate that. One thing he said there, EO, and I didn't realize this until after I got my first tailored suit. Shout out to Tailored Carnivore, man. Dude,
Yes.
Subscribe to all of his stuff. That guy knows exactly what he's talking about. I remember my initial consultation. This was last fall. He said, listen, Donovan, he says, people are going to treat you very differently when you start dressing like this. And he was 100% right, man. It is just in the airport, TSA security. It's incredible. If you're wearing trousers, I didn't have to wear a tie. Nice shirt, dude, tailored shirt, tailored jacket, trousers, some nice loafers. I've got my Toomey bag and everything. Dude, they treat you like you're royalty. Am I wrong?
Yeah, let me compliment you real quick, all right? You look dope for the CME. Like everything you wore on stage for opening night, your speech. And let me say something. You're not done with the suit. The suit is part of it.
Right.
But again, it's your walk. You got to have a power walk.
Yeah.
Okay. The way you walk in, you better have a little pep in your step, a little swag to you. Okay. Like it's not just, there's so many layers to being the ultimate man.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, part of it is fashion. Donovan looked fantastic. I was impressed.
Thank you.
Like you had the vest, the contrast collar, I believe.
Yeah.
You had the patterned shirt with the tie. Dude, I looked at everything. And on top of it, you stood tall.
Yeah.
You didn't smile too much.
Nope.
And that was part of your game because you're focused. You were tapped in. So just remember, guys, you could have a new outfit on, but if you don't have the walk down, if you're smiling too much, you keep in mind something. You could be too fashionable and it could be unattractive. You could have too many things on, like a hat with a feather in it and a pocket square and a bow and all kind of shit. And now they're like, you're trying too hard. You look like a bitch. Okay. You're like a bitch out here trying to get attention, validation. Right. So remember, focus on the fit. Quality and fit matters the most, but haircut matters a lot, grooming, and also just your body language and how you position yourself in places. So you could just be standing there or you have an eye like, I'm going to position myself right there. Right in that spot because it's close to where everyone is congregating. And this gives me an opportunity to not only be seen, but to listen to conversations.
Yes.
That's another thing. You're sitting here having your drink, but you're not really having your drink. You're listening to what everybody is saying in back of you and to the side of you. And now you're thinking of how you're going to game everybody up in the room.
Real talk.
so this is where it's at.
By the way, somebody in the chat wants to know where you got that jacket.
I got this from Zara.
Oh, okay. I have no
Zara.com.
Okay,
yep.
Zara.com. All right, well, there you go. D Digital with the $10 super chat says tuition. Geeky Anomaly, $2 says, well, maybe not the Venetian security. Yeah, well, it is what it is. The Venetian treated us very, very well. Okay, listen, man, this was a fantastic health is wealth, says EO is on point. Yeah, man, I got to tell you, man, this is why I knew I had to have you on, man, because you spit jewels all the time, but this is interesting. You very rarely talk directly about women. And I think that's what guys are drawn to. Just like you and Steve the Dean always say, the game is not about shout out to Steve the Dean. The minute you figure out that the game is not about women, that's dude, you're halfway there, man.
Yeah, if the game is about women, you're always going to lose and they're always going to leave you.
Real
okay,
talk.
just remember that. If you make it about her, you lost, she's leaving you. She might leave you for someone that you ever hear a woman say, I can't believe he cheated on me with that bitch.
Right.
Like, like whether she's uglier
right.
or she got a little rinky dinky apartment above a bar somewhere.
Right.
Like she's just like, they're very judgmental. So it's the same thing with a man, it's the same thing with a man. You got to make it all about you. Because at the end of the day, it is about you.
That's right.
And she's being invited in. See, remember, I said this yesterday during a show. Don't need her, want her.
Right.
Don't beg her, invite her.
Ooh.
There's a difference behind that energy. So don't beg her, invite her, okay? And don't need her, but there's nothing wrong with wanting her if she qualifies to be there.
Man, that is incredible. Coach EO, gentlemen, in here dropping jewels. Divine Smack says, thank you both for this information. Knight and Shining ASMR says, this is good advice. Yeah, awesome show, man. Guys, listen, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Subscribe to Coach EO's channel. I'm going to have Devin go in and we're going to put we'll put the links for his book as well as his channel. You guys can catch Coach EO on the 7 this Sunday evening at this Sunday evening at 8:30 Eastern. Dude, I have a million things that I have to be doing. Listen, Everett, thank you very, very much for
my pleasure.
For making time with us. And I'll see you in a couple days, man.
All right, man. Peace out, everybody.
All right, Coach EO. Gentlemen, listen, dude, EO brings the knowledge, man. Like he talks about, it's interesting. He talks about things that you would never, and it's so funny. Like he talks about things that I'm aware of that I don't know that I'm aware of. Like the fact that you have to, like tipping. Dude, I've always been a fantastic tipper. Whoever is serving me, the bartender, the hotel staff, I always make sure that I am greasing everybody's palms. I remember we were staying at one of the venues last Christmas time. No, actually it was Thanksgiving week. Dev and I were scouting out venues for the CME, and I was doing what I was obviously I was doing what I do. And the driver, this is like halfway through, the driver was like, hey man, like you're getting a really good reputation. People have been talking about you. You've got a really good reputation. Well, I had a really good reputation for tipping. Anyone who was a part of the staff who came to our suite, they got a $20 bill. It didn't matter if it was for bringing us a soda, sleeping pills, didn't matter what it is. If they came to our door, I gave them a $20 bill. And I do that to build a good reputation. I do that so that you're well taken care of. Listen, if you take care of the people that take care of you, they will definitely take care of you. So let that be a lesson. Brian Burton, $10 says, and another thing to add, I just jumped on here, is posture. Head up, chest out. 100% true. Just like EO said, you can be dressed to the nines. If your posture sucks, if your body language sucks, it's going to fall flat. It's going to fall flat. Pardon me. That is going to do it for this, the 742nd edition of TSR Live. Stay tuned on Sharpe Stream for Season 2 of Temptation Island. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good weekend. Get thousands of hours of content not found anywhere on patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. Link in description. on patreon.com.